Shalom, this is a new Ben Israel at Hebrew on the Island 2. Today's video is highlights from Bereshit chapter 2, or you could say Genesis chapter 2. I'm going to do the highlights, my highlights, what I glean from Genesis chapter 2, and then I'll be doing the Torah reading in Genesis chapter 2. Okay, let's start. Verse 1. All the hosts of heaven and earth were finished on the sixth day. This is a highlight in Genesis chapter 2. And the reason why I'm making these highlights in Torah readings is because I know people are very busy in their life. And since they're very busy in their life, which they shouldn't do, they have to make time for the Most High, seek His face, inquire of the wisdom of the Most High, which is only found in the Word. But you guys can also, while you're driving, play this video in your car, on your phone, and listen, and that's getting at least hearing the words of the Most High. Okay? Highlights from Genesis chapter 2. Second part of my highlights of Genesis chapter 2 is, on the seventh day Elohim finished His work and rested. Now, a key thing I want you guys to know, remember, we're Torah, Tanakh-based people. We're not just going to read everything and take everything literal. Things are literal, allegorical, metaphysical. So when you look up the word rest, because you like Elohim, Haya, does he get tired? Nah. That's what Christians and possibly Messianic Hebrews would think. But when you look up the word rested in Bereshit chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2, the Hebrew word for rest is H7673, Shavath. It means to cease or desist, to desist from work, to stop work. Doesn't mean the Most High is tired. How is the Most High ever tired? Is there anything too hard for the Most High? Nothing. That's what the prophet Jeremiah stated in Jeremiah chapter 32. So, doesn't mean he rested because he was tired of doing his work. See, it means he just stopped. He deceased. He desisted from his labor. All right, another highlight. Blessed and sanctified the seventh day from all His work which Elohim created and made. The plants and herbs, before it grew, Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and no man tilled the ground. So these are the highlights in Genesis chapter 2 before we get to the reading. There was no rain at that point. A mist came up in the earth and watered the entire face of the ground. The Most High then formed man of the dust of the ground, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. The Most High planted a garden eastward of Eden, and that's where He put the man that He formed. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted it parted into four heads, this river that came out of Eden. And the four heads of these four other water outlets, one is called Pison, P-I-S-O-N, Havlah, H-A-V-I-L-A-H, Gibbon, G-I-B-O-N, and Hiddekel, H-I-D-D-E-K-E-L. And that was east of Assyria. Those were the four rivers that were connected. They were the heads of the main river that came out of Eden. The Most High commanded man of every tree of the garden that he could eat from it. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he was commanded not to eat. Now, in verse 17, that's verse 17, my highlight that I gleaned from this is that it said, you can eat of all the trees, but of this one don't eat, because it's the tree of good and evil. And the day that you eat, you will die. So that shows that man's existence is not just was just a mere 120 days. could have been a lot of years or eternity. He could have been an eternal being. He says, you know, as soon as you eat of it, you will die. The Most High, it is not good for man to be alone. That's what you find in Genesis chapter 2. That's another of my highlights. So in chapter 2, he told Adam, I'm going to bring you a helpmate. Somebody that's going to help you. Not be over you. It's going to help you in all your endeavors. And out of the ground, the Most High formed every beast of the field, fowl, and brought them to Adam, and he named them. So, woman was not even formed at that point. He made the animals. He made Adam first and then the animals. And then Adam gave name to all the cattle, fowl, beasts of the field. But Adam, with all the beasts, he stood and found a good helpmate. The Most High then caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he took one of his ribs. Ribs, when you look it up, any part of his sides, a cell. We won't get into the depths of that. Some things you take it for what it is. Is there anything too hard for the Most High? And the rib that the Most High took from Adam, that's what he made the woman. And then Adam said, this is now a bone of my bone, a flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman. Man shall leave father and mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one. They were both naked and were not ashamed. And when you look it up in the Hebrew, naked and stuff means bare, partly nude. Remember, some things you have to take literal, allegorical, and metaphysical. So when you look that up, it says, yes, they were partially nude, naked, walking around. Today, that would be strange. Back then, no. Okay, let's get right into the Torah reading, Genesis chapter 2. This scene you're seeing right now is the Grand Canyon. Look at some of my other videos, my Torah-based videos. Grand Canyon is a special place. Utah, you know, all of the Americas. North America, South America, North Pole, South Pole, all of that. Peru, Brazil, all the Caribbean islands, South America, North America, Canada, all those places, I believe, is the real promised land, because the maps were turned upside down. So and whoever can receive it, look at the videos, look at the proof, and do your own research about the fake pyramids that are in the so-called Middle East, you know, and do your own research. And if you don't accept it, that's your prerogative. But hear the words of the Most High, and hopefully you will enjoy this. Genesis chapter 2, Torah reading, Bereshith reading. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Elohim made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for Elohim Haya had not caused it to rain upon the earth. And there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Most High Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And the Most High Higher planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Elohim Higher to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is it which compassed the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is the bdellium and the onyx stone, And the name of the second river is Gibeon, and the same is that compassed the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. And the Most High Higher took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Most High Higher commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in that day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. And the Most High Higher said, It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. And out of the ground Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. Whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, to the fowl of the air, to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helpmate for him. And the Most High Higher caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High Higher had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Hopefully you enjoyed Bereshith chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2, the holy reading, the only scripture, the only law of the Most High. Until next time, Hallelujah. Higher, 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 higher.